Hey, I was once flying from Fort Lauderdale back to Tampa. Now, I'd got in this Sunshine Skyway or, something like that. I really don't remember what the name of the company was. But anyway, I go into this little airport down in Fort Lauderdale. And, well, actually, it's a big airport in Fort Lauderdale. But the Sunshine Sky or whatever it was is a small area. So anyway, I went in there, and the ticket salesman was standing there, and asked me, here's your ticket, and so on. Made payment to him, and then do I have any baggage? Yes, just a little carry on. It was just a day flight, down to Lauderdale and back. And then he says, well, come over here and step up on the scale. I says, my luggage? And he says, no, you. He says, I'm going to seat you according to your weight. Depending upon how much you weigh is where I'll put you. Okay, well, that sort of made sense to me, I guess. Never had it happen before. It's a little bitty puddle jumper, So I said, oh, okay. Got up on the scale, and he, wrote it down and every other passenger. And okay, then he took my luggage out, and he wheeled it out, and he put it on a plane, so you could see it right out the back door. Then he comes back and says, okay, I'm ready to take everyone to the plane, and of course he's walking us out, and I'm talking to the person sitting next to me, and I says, wouldn't it be just funny as heck if he was the pilot? Shook our heads, and then loaded the plane, and he got to me, and he says, oh, you have to sit in a co-pilot seat. And I said, seriously, the co-pilot? And he says, yeah, just hop up in the co-pilot seat, and, that's where we're going to seat you. And then I sat there and watched him. He took off his one jacket, put on his pilot's jacket now, and he climbs up in the plane in the pilot's seat. Well, first he had to put the steps up, and then he climbs in the pilot's seat and says, okay, we're ready to go. Now, this guy was, he like had no sense of humor, just very dry sense of humor. And I'm not even sure what nationality he was, but, it was a foreign nationality. And so then we leave this Fort Lauderdale, and of course, and we head out, and I'm sitting there looking out the window. Of course, I had a perfect view, and we're going over water, Dude, I said, I think, we're heading west, or east, I'm sorry. I said, we're heading east, and Tampa's west. I says, northwest from here. And I says, you're heading toward the Bermuda Triangle. And then, of course, he looks at me and says, oh, damn. He says, I forget every now and then. So he says, no, the flight plan's out here. We have to, fly out, toward water. Then we turn and we head back. And I said, oh, that makes sense. So, he turns around, he turns the plane, and now we're heading back the right way, I think. And then, just looks at me and, do you have any pilot experience? I said, well, actually, no, none. I said, this is the most pilot experience I've ever gotten in my life. And, at that point, he goes, well, if something happens to me, you're in charge. And he says, so try to land a plane sort of softly somewhere. And of course, just never said another word. And of course, I'm biting my nails the whole way to Tampa, and finally land, and he gets out and puts the steps up, and, of course, we debark the plane, and just never forget that. And that's the last time I said I'd ever fly Sunshine Skyway as well. Well, anyway, that's my plane story. I thought it was funny as heck. It's one of those I'll never forget. So anyway, just thought I'd share it with everyone else.